Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Confidence Mindset with Amanda. And today I want to bring up the topic of dealing with anxiety and spiraling when we are keeping our thoughts on what it is that we want. So when we have anxiety and we spiral, the only reason this happens is because of what we have already learned from our past. So it's an old familiar feeling from the past, as Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it. And because it's an old familiar feeling from the past, it's already been in your subconscious mind. And so this is what your subconscious mind, through repetitive patterns way of being, knows how you experience this topic that you are actually overriding with new affirmations. Now, you override your beliefs by continuing to keep your thoughts on what it is that you actually do want to experience. But when there is no physicality of it in your reality, there can be a tendency then to be a little bit of a contradiction. And when there's a contradiction, this is when the emotions rise up, because it's a feeling of unsurety, it's a feeling of not feeling safe, and it's a feeling of the unfamiliarness, because the subconscious mind is trying to produce what it already knows, but because you're overriding that with a new belief, it's getting a bit confused. And that's all what your feelings and emotions are. They're just like confused feelings coming up that are causing anxiety and causing us to spiral. And in these moments, that's what we want to acknowledge. We want to acknowledge that all they are feelings and emotions. They're a part of the human experience, and it's to accept the fact that we're always going to have them, because we are always learning and we're always growing, and that's the way we're going to be going, because we always want to be moving forward in life. Every moment is moving forward in life. And when we have anxiety and we do spiral, it's only because we're thinking ahead, we're thinking forward, we're always moving forward. And so it's to ground ourselves in the knowing that this is okay. It's okay to cry all day, it's okay to feel your feelings. Nothing is going to mess up you moving forward, because you're always moving forward. There's always another moment and another moment and another moment. So the key is then, when we are consciously manifesting, is to just become aware of the feelings. So the feelings come up because they're feeling unsure, anxiety. To say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling this now, but I'm going to let it be. I'm just going to let it just come up. I'm going to let it come up, and then I'm going to let it flow out, and then I'm going to let it be. And then you're going to come back then, and you're going to start then nurturing yourself and bringing yourself back into your own way of thinking, which is keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want, because you're moving forward thinking about what it is that you want. And it's to remember as well too that when you are manifesting for particular things, it's not just about keeping your mind on one affirmation, because yes, it can be easy to sit there and say, I'm in a loving relationship, I'm in a loving relationship, I'm in a loving relationship. But when you wake up in the morning and you keep saying this to yourself, yes, you can repetitively put this affirmation into your mind, but you want to have an expansive mind. So when you're in a loving relationship, think of other words that cause you to be in a loving relationship. So when you wake up in the morning, just think of feelings of peace, of feelings of happiness, feelings of harmony. Even just say the words peace, harmony, because these are all feelings that you would have in a loving relationship. Now, having a one affirmation is great to fall back on throughout your day when you can't think of aspects of what it is to be in a loving relationship, if you are somebody who is overriding old pattern ways of being. And it's the same process for money as well too. So we are continuously seeking to keep our thoughts on what it is that we want, because that's basically all we're doing when we're consciously manifesting, is thinking. But we want to be thinking thoughts that we want. And so we are becoming, because it's called conscious, so you're just being conscious of your thoughts. And when you're conscious of your thoughts, you're redirecting it, then you're putting them all your thoughts onto what it is that you want, because you know as you do that, you're going to experience it in your future. And this is what is meant when we are in manifesting, when we are changing the mindset. And I think sometimes it gets a little bit lost when we're so focused on the actual desire, that when we are affirming for the actual desire, and we're affirming and we're affirming and we're affirming, and maybe not seeing results, and then we start thinking we're doing something wrong when we're not, because you're keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want. But it's to understand that it's not the thought on the actual desire, it's your whole thought process. It's like a whole change of mind. And so it's keeping thoughts on anything that is in relation to what it is that you are desiring. So It doesn't matter about having one specific affirmation. If you can have a whole train of thoughts and expand your mind on what it means to be in a loving relationship, for example, who are you, like, how are you feeling in the loving relationship? When you wake up in the morning, you think to yourself, well, you know, I'm an amazing partner, so I think I'm actually going to arrange to go out with my partner tonight. I will arrange for a date. I will arrange to go for a meal. Just have a kind of a thought process like that, whether that's happening or not. But the key is, if you can keep your mind focused long enough on what it is that you are experiencing, no matter what it is that you are saying, but on the concept, this is how you are kind of attracting it then into you, because you're changing the whole thought process in your brain. And this is what Dr. Joe Dispenza says when he's in his meditations. He says when you do your meditations, you come out of the meditation as this new identity. You don't go back on what it is that you are meditating on. And there was an example of this of a man that was looking for a girlfriend, and he started meditating. He found Dr. Joe Dispenza and started meditating or whatever for love. But what he did was, he got so focused on it, he decided that every single hour he was going to check in on himself and see where his mind was, keeping his awareness, you see, on what it is that he wanted. And you don't have to like be so structured with it. And he had an alarm or something that reminded him every single hour to tune into love. And he did this for about 60 something days, I think he said. So over a period of 2 months. So remember, time, it doesn't matter. But he kept doing it every single day, and eventually then he bumped into this girl, and then they got into a relationship together. And this is what we're doing then when we are keeping our thoughts on what it is that we want. But it doesn't have to be like that, checking every hour. It has to be moment to moment, really. Like, where are your thoughts going in the moment? Just redirect them continuously. And as you continue to do that, you are becoming that person who is experiencing that desire. You're telling yourself that you already have it. And so over time, this will eliminate less intrusive thoughts. It will eliminate anxiety, because it's like a training kind of process. But also as well too, it is keeping you, like, even if you are just redirecting to one affirmation, I'm not saying that one affirmation won't work, because you're still keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want, so it is going to work. But I'm just saying, like, when you can't think of that one affirmation, always put your thoughts on the actual aspect of what it is that you want. So say you're manifesting money and a bill comes in and you start to feel a little bit stressed, but you know that if you had the money, that you are in this new identity with the money that can pay the bill, you know, you'd be feeling feelings of feeling free. You'd be feeling feelings of relaxation, security, peace, abundance. And so you can, in that moment, tell your mind and your body, because you're the one in control. So in that moment, you can decide whether you want to spiral, or whether you want to change your thoughts on it, and stop yourself and say, okay, hang on a second, I'm going to leave that bill where it is. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to relax for a minute, and I'm going to think about how I have the freedom to actually get up and make myself a cup of tea. And you are thinking on the process of somebody who has the money to pay the bill. And as you continue to do this, this is how you are attracting everything to shift and change in your reality, because it's like a perception that you're changing your perceptions. But you're also, because you're changing your perceptions on the desire, you're also changing your perceptions about yourself. Because in that moment, you are saying to yourself, you're deciding that, well, I'm free, I can get up and I can make a cup of tea, I can sit down and I can ponder on thoughts on richness and wealth and all of this kind of abundance mindset. Whether you're just sitting outside with a cup of tea or something, or you don't have what it is that you want in the physicality, you always have the power to switch that thought. And this is how you do it. And in those moments, it's like over a period of time, it doesn't even have to take that long, but it starts to become who you are, essentially. And this is how you're overriding the old familiar past, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says. Now, I do want to say that, as I said before, it is a little bit of a discipline, and I know that sometimes when we're contradicting what we are actually experiencing, it can feel a little foreign. But it's only foreign because we are expanding our minds, and with expansion comes a little bit of uneasiness, comes a little bit of discomfort, and that's okay. We're human, we're going to have those feelings, but it's to go over that cross line, just keep going over it, and to not even look for the evidence of it in the reality, because when you are being this person, you don't tend to look for the evidence of it, but you do things then, like getting up and, like, it's like when the bill comes in, you don't tend to look for all the reasons of where am I going to get the money or whatever to pay for it. If you have the money, you get up and you look at the bill, you make a cup of tea, and you sit down and you distract yourself, read your book, think about thoughts of wealth, and this is how things then. And I know that some people then might think that this is illogical, but manifestation is a bit illogical. You have to have a mindset that's going to be over the expanding over everything that you want, because your manifestation can come to you in so many different ways. Because you could be sitting there affirming for, I don't know, €5,000 or something to come into your reality for the day, and you could have €5,000. I'm going to get €5,000. I'm going to have €5,000. This is how I'm going to get €5,000. But then it could come to you, like, you could be affirming that it's coming to you through your job or something. But then it could actually come to you, a relative could just knock on the door and say that, oh, I sold this, whatever, and I wanted to give you this. And you could be thinking to yourself, God, I wasn't even affirming for that way, but it came to you still, if you get what I mean. So there's loads of different ways that it'll come to you, but it's just about keeping your thoughts on it. And so this is what is meant then when we are manifesting. So law of attraction is real because that's how you attract everything to you, because the law of vibration is real as well too, because the law of assumption, which is what we are doing, keeping our thoughts on what it is that we want, keeping our thoughts on what it is that we want is raising the vibration within us, which is the law of vibration, which is attracting then the experience to us, which is the law of attraction. So I just wanted to make that point. I hope this video helps for anyone who is feeling anxiety or spirals, just to understand that just feel it and experience it. It's part of human nature to have these feelings, because we know what it feels like to be sad. We know what it feels like to have doubts and things like that. We know what it's like. And really, do we want to lose that little bit within us, that we'll never have those human experiences, so that we'll never have those again? Why would we want to lose that? Because if we do, then we lose our empathy, we lose our compassion. So we want to be balancing everything out. We want to understand that it's okay to feel our emotions, and it's okay to pick ourselves back up with the knowing that nothing messes up anything, because it's all about where is our focus going. And so once we keep our focus on what it is that we want, it doesn't matter how we're going to be feeling, we're still always going to get what it is that we want. So just wanted to make that video, and I will chat to you soon.